What's up, world?
Hey.
It's your boy Tyrone Morgan. I'm here today with another episode of the Soul Rehab Podcast. Let's go. Woo!
Yay!
We
And
are
it's Christmas
Eve.
Yes.
We're recording on Christmas Eve. And Santa gave me his list, and a lot of y'all ain't on it because you've been bad.
Jesus. That would include you and your shenanigans. Please believe it.
Ooh, on the naughty
On the
list.
naughty list, you are getting a lump of coal or a
Oh,
lump
yes.
upside your head, which is probably what you need. But anyhow,
Such violence on Christmas.
Feel nothing about Jesus.
we talking about Santa Claus. We talking about Jesus.
Feel the love and
Ain't no Jesus in that.
Jesus love you. Santa Claus give you a lump of coal. Figure out which one you want to follow.
Okay.
But anyway, today we are here to talk about a topic that is something we do at the end of our podcast, and it is peace out and be well. We want to kind of get behind the scene of what that really means for us and why we say it today. So, before we get started, let's introduce the team. And today they're going to introduce themselves because I'm feeling kind of lazy.
It's your girl, the fervent servant, Anisha Dawson. Hi, I hope you all are well and Merry Christmas.
Yes, you felt that extra for him. That was so extra. Hey.
It's Christmas.
I am Francis Bryant. Hey.
Oh, Jesus.
I thought we were going to get away from it this time, but it seems like we didn't. She still brought it
You
out.
should have been in the Christmas spirit.
Yes.
Merry Christmas. I am.
Are you? Really? So, we're going to talk about what everybody got me for Christmas first. So, I know I ain't got some of y'all, but my cash app is $ Mr. 566. Hook your boy up. 'Cause I'm only playing. But I'm really,
You could be
I'm
serious.
really for real. But anyway,
We're going to get you some of this clearance Christmas candy. Give us
Ain't
a few
no
days.
doubt.
We
Yeah.
got you.
appreciate it. I love candy.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's talk about, this is a time of the year that, you know, a lot of us like peace and people are, you know, you're around your family. And so, and I know this is a time where a lot of people struggle with having peace because we so busy with shopping and buying and doing for Christmas. We forget all about having some inner peace, which is, I think, is important. So, do you think, I think this time of year bring a lot of people, anxiety. What do y'all think about that?
Oh, most definitely.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
God knows.
For all different, various reasons.
Mhm.
You're talking about emotional, mental, financial,
All right.
all kinds of things going on. Some people, and I've never been one of those parents that go above and beyond and
Right.
skipping bills to buy presents. I ain't doing none
Yeah,
of
you
that.
can't
I
do
ain't gonna
that.
be in the dark
Right.
voluntarily. That's what I call voluntarily being in the dark. Because if you go buy presents and you know that light bill ain't paid,
Yeah. You working backwards.
yeah, that's something. Mm-mm.
But people do that a lot.
They do.
A lot. I know a lot of people. Y'all know I work for the power plant, used to anyway. And people would do that, you know, because they knew the town most of the time wouldn't cut off during Christmas, but you know they'll sacrifice the bill to get Christmas for their kids, and but I think that's bring on anxiety.
You know what one of the best gifts is?
What?
Being able to flip that switch and them lights come
You
on.
got that right, especially after the morning like we had,
Yes,
with no lights.
absolutely.
Oh, God Almighty!
Children be grateful.
Yes, exactly. You know that's
Your Wi-Fi back on if you have your lights back, your Wi-Fi and everything back on.
Yes.
That's a great gift.
It is.
I think I say that all the time. Like when Zai says, "What you getting me for Christmas?" I was like, "Flip that light switch."
Yeah.
on."
Yeah.
In Jesus'
Yeah.
name.
I said, "Did you run that water?
Mm-hmm.
Open that refrigerator.
Right.
There's groceries in there.
Absolutely.
Do we have a vehicle to drive?"
All right.
Those are the necessities, you know. But I was thinking about that time you said when you were working, you got paid every week. I think you said that.
Yeah.
That made me sick because I've never had a job where
Really?
I got paid every week. Never in my life. And you know, I was thinking working for the state. The state gets paid early. You know how that is.
Oh,
45
yeah.
day stretch.
And
when
then
you don't
that
get
January, and then a lot of people
don't plan ahead.
don't plan ahead. Now, in the past, I'm just gonna keep it real. I knew how to plan my bills. You know, I could be a month in a hole and they not cut it off. But you can't be 2 months in a hole.
Exactly.
You know, I've had struggles, you know, juggling bills, paying this and paying that. But what I'm saying is a lot of state employees I know, they'll go spend all this money and they haven't paid not one bill.
Right.
Or, you know, or you might get a bonus and you spend all your money and don't save. And I think good parenting is also telling your children sometimes I don't have it.
Exactly.
And sometimes I think as a single parent, for me, they needed to see, hey, that I struggled, that it wasn't easy, or, you know, so they can be grateful and appreciative. But I guess that was side note.
I think a lot of time, well, for me, I can speak for myself. During that 45-day stretch, I had a part-time job, so I still had some income coming in because that's a long time and it's hard. It was hard.
Unfortunately, I retired and now I get paid once a month. It sucks.
Welcome to my world.
I get paid bi-weekly.
But what it teaches you is how to budget.
It
It teaches you how to budget, and that's one thing I'm really good at because
You are.
I have always gotten paid. Even when I had a part-time job, I still got paid. And I was like, it didn't even help me because the state get paid at the end of the month. On my part-time job, I got paid on the 28th.
No,
I was like, this ain't
They ain't doing nothing. Right.
you know, but
So, what does any of that have to do with peace, and why are we talking about this stuff?
because
It's simple.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you can go ahead, but I mean, it's really simple.
There is no peace when you're struggling
That's
or worrying.
exactly right.
And I think a lot of people associate peace with material things.
Yeah, they do.
You know, and
That's good.
giving their children material things, and you know, every child wants love.
Yeah.
The material things are nice. I like material things.
Right. I do too.
I like them. I like eating well. You know, so
Because I ain't missing
I don't like struggling. So, and we're not knocking material things,
No,
but
not at all.
what I'm saying is pay your bills.
Right.
Pay your bills, and then do.
That's
And
it.
also,
That's worry.
let me say this: as a single parent, if you're a single parent, you're out there doing what you're supposed to do. There's so many resources out here to help single mothers or single fathers or single parents, grandparents with Christmas or different things, and even school have different things, resources that they could help contribute. I think sometimes we have to not be prideful. It's okay
Right.
because that's what they're here for. Salvation Army, all these, the Marines, they do toy drives, all these different things. That's what it's there for. Take advantage of the resources in your community, your state, local church, wherever. And don't feel ashamed. You know, I've visited a food bank before, you know, because I was in need. And I was ashamed at first. Then afterwards, I was like, look, this is helping me feed my kids. You know, but so I do want to say that. But I do believe people associate peace with material things.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. I have a friend. She'll be like, she's going to pay her bills, right? She'll go get small items. She said, but y'all real Christmas is tax time. She don't play
Black,
about
they
that.
call
Like,
that
she's
Black
not
Christmas.
going she's not going broke. She's gonna
Right.
pay her bills. She'll get the little small things, but them major gifts, you're gonna have to wait till. So y'all keep that in mind too. Like you can get a little few side items and things of that nature, but
And I think sometimes we need to teach our kids how to be modest.
absolutely.
I think our kids are spoiled.
Entitled.
And we done it to them because we didn't want them to struggle like we did. But the thing about us is the struggle made us. And they don't know what a struggle is. So, you know,
They
sometimes they give up. We live in a generation where kids just get, you know, you get a award just for coming to field day. You know, participation award, which I hate because you don't never teach competition.
Sportsmanship, you lose all that.
Yeah, you don't learn that stuff no more because in school they just seem like it's better to give everybody
Oh
something.
my God. Giving out grades.
Yeah,
Right.
Oh, I'll leave that
it's
alone.
ridiculous.
Yeah, let me leave that
That's
alone.
another podcast. We'll do that. We'll do that in spring.
But
Giving out grades, passing folks.
sometimes they pass them because they bad. But anyway,
That's another
it
podcast.
is.
All right, stay focused.
The reason why we're really talking about that, because that's stuff that causes people to lose peace.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You get anxious. You know your kids. Most time it's comparison. We compare what our kids get to other kids. We want to make sure our kids don't feel like their parents can't do something. So it causes a lot of anxiety in us, and we lose peace during this season. Again, in the season, people lose people. So in the season, the holidays usually bring some type of anxiety to you because of lost loved ones. So that's real. That's a time that people, need it. Something else. What else is causing anxiety during this time of the year? I'm trying to think. I had it in my head. I don't know if I got it now, but maybe it'll come back. But we have to make sure that when we have peace, how do you maintain it? What it looks like for you, because I think it's a little different for everybody. I think part of peace is resting well.
Yes.
And resting well is not sleep. I want people to get that out. You get 12 hours of sleep don't mean you're resting.
Exactly.
Resting is a point where you're able to clear your mind and you're able to recharge. To me, resting and recharging is the same thing. And a lot of us we get sleep, but we don't get rest. And when you don't get rest, the rest of your life goes haywire. You become super anxious, worried about stuff start piling up. And I know for me, that's when I start getting like that, I know, okay, you need rest. Not sleep. Because I want to make sure y'all get that. Sleep and rest is two different things.
Rest well.
Rest well. Rest that mind. Y'all got anything to add to that?
No, I just totally agree.
Because when you go to sleep and you wake up, you could still wake up tired. But when you rest, you wake up energized.
Yes.
So it's definitely a difference.
Yeah, because you can tell your body tell you like, man, I feel good today. And so you rest and you actually, because we so busy. We are busy people. And I think that's some of the stuff that like the Lord been dealing with me this time, the last couple of years. Like, quit being so busy. You can be more impactful when you learn to take rest. There's nothing wrong with rest, which is an issue for me. But there's nothing wrong with it. The light is over there, so the shade can't be cast on me.
What? Oh, you said something about not being so busy. That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking.
Well, I'll be back to the regular schedule program. We were talking about peace. Don't worry about it. But anyway, them ninjas get on my nerves.
Hey, you brought it to the lights.
Boy, the shade on this podcast sometimes is terrible. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. But anyhow, we have to learn to rest well.
We do. We do.
I'm learning in this season that when I get rest, I operate better.
Amen.
I'm not my mind ain't as everywhere.
Right.
I'm able to focus on what I'm doing more. And sometimes a strategic rest, even though I think when I rest I'm getting behind, it's actually recharging me. So when I go, I can go a little bit harder. And so I'm learning that. The Lord has set me down for a few months. I'm really kind of tired of it. But I can't do nothing with him.
You can.
I don't even want to get into that. I'm depressed about it. But anyway, because I was telling somebody this the other day about me, and we'll get into what we're talking about in a minute. But I was telling them that, most people would probably love for the Lord to tell them to rest. I don't. It irritates my soul because I don't like sitting still. It makes me feel like I'm not being productive. But anytime I try to take off running, he'll send somebody, as a Francis was the last person that he sent to tell me to slow down. I'm serious.
But you do realize until you're not irritated by him telling you to sit down, he gonna keep making you do
I
it.
do.
Until you accept what he's telling you to do and do it, you're gonna keep feeling that way.
Yeah, I do. I know that.
Okay.
I do know that. So I'm getting better. I'm learning. I'm paying attention, and I'm taking the advice that he sends the way he sends it. So anyway, y'all got me in my feelings.
Oh, we're sorry. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
But I'm back.
Oh God! Shenanigans and tomfoolery.
So we're gonna talk about peace. Because I believe, I always sign off with peace out. I believe God has given me inner peace, and I want to bring that peace to the world, outside to the world around me. And so that's something I always practice, something I say, because I think that, as a people, we can carry peace around with us, and people can feel safe around you. They can feel, they can get recharged from talking to you. Sometimes, especially when you got to give counsel, there are people who feel better just because you had a conversation with them. And so you have to realize that. But the thing about me, my peace was no longer rooted in what I have and what I've been able to do. My peace was rooted in God. So when my situations change, it don't change me. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm irritated now, I know I'm in a good spot. I just don't like it, but I know God is with me. So I just keep, trying to figure out what's my balance in it. And so peace need to be on the inside, because your surroundings will change, your health may change, your money, your finances may change. You can have, God forbid, have a fire and lose a lot of stuff and it change. But the peace comes when God is in control. And that's what I rooted my peace in. And that's why you always hear me say that. Now that peace, I don't want people to get fooled with peace, because peace does not lack war. You still have to war. You still got to fight. You have to fight for your peace, because people are always trying to take it. And then a lot of times you take it from yourself too, by dealing with people that you shouldn't be dealing with. So y'all got something to add to that?
I think it's essential to protect your peace.
Right.
You were saying that because it's always a fight to protect your peace,
right,
because the devil wants to have your mind all balled up and you out of wire. So definitely I say,
let me ask you a question. How does that affect your peace?
Oh God, how long we got?
How long talking about my boy like that?
Oh my gosh, I mean, how does he affect my peace?
That's my guy.
He says Francis probably 1,000 times a day.
I hope he's watching this. Yes. I got your back.
He touches me too much. There's so much. So much.
Oh, that was a joke.
I don't know
if you like that.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to explain it.
No. You're not going to do my boy like that. Not at all.
He thinks he's on my birth certificate.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm actually on his.
Oh,
Jesus. Okay, that's my guy.
Yeah.
Me and him got the... We got the same spirit.
You and your feelings too now? Well, this whole podcast is going south there because Christmas
feelings.
But I feel like he wakes up intentionally to disturb my peace.
Hey, I don't blame
and I have to tell him, you're not going to disturb my peace today.
That's what you do. These shenanigans is.
Oh, that's where that's
the disturbing
exactly
of the peace.
That's exactly where the word came from.
We do it on purpose.
We know.
To keep you sharp.
Oh my gosh.
I like that. Don't talk. Zai, I got you. Don't worry about it. Keep disturbing her peace. Because when you don't do it, I get to do it when we on this pod.
There's so many people that disturb it.
So many people. So let's dig into that. So how do we, because this is the thing we have to realize. We allow people to take our peace.
Take our peace. For one thing, we always say we don't set boundaries with people.
Yep.
We don't. You're guilty. All three of us are guilty.
Yep.
There was a thing, this is sidebar too. I got so excited when I saw this. Like, it said in January, get rid of one thing in your house. And the first thing I thought of...
You cannot get rid of my
I said, Zai, you were the first thing I thought of decluttering.
Oh my gosh. Shonda, are you watching?
I've been trying.
That's a ninja. That's what ninjas do.
I've been trying.
They be the closest people around.
I've been trying to declutter.
Zai is not part of
He doesn't fall in that category. No. Sorry.
Oh. Is that's what we doing? Zai, I did not have nothing to do with this. I'm sorry, sir.
All right. Back to
it. Yeah, let's go back. No more side notes.
Get rid of us.
Her whole child. What in the world? But anyway, they was 5 things that I've seen.
I dropped them off at the fire station once too.
Listen, we are not doing a parenting podcast today. So don't take these tips. Hold on, what's that stuff? A disclaimer: we do not support the views
Francis Sutton. No. That's not.
You remember?
I do remember, but I'm just saying.
I didn't realize there was an age requirement. He could be 14 at 5 states.
Woo.
It was too late.
Her opinions and views are hers. We don't have them. So anyway.
These are not the opinions and views of the Soul Real podcast.
No, it is hers.
Solely Francis.
Woo,
Jesus.
Where do you do that?
Give us your 5 points,
Yeah.
please. Woo, we gotta get out of that topic.
Yeah, we
Get
do.
out that part.
So 5 things that I've kind of found out that I think how we end up keeping peace. It requires proper people placement, and we suck at that.
We do.
We suck at putting people in their place.
That's right.
There are some people that we know. We hear the phone ring. We look at it. Oh my God, what they want. We all got people like that.
We do.
So they disturb your peace. So you need to talk to them less. And if they're around you, like, I know sometimes some people you can't help but be around, but you limit your interactions. You set boundaries in them interactions and make sure that people who are friends, there are people we think are friends that need to be in associate category.
That's
So
right.
we need to make sure that we put people in their proper place.
Yes.
So number 2 requires proper perspective. I have to choose what I am going to look at. Focus is making a decision on what I'm not going to look at. So what I was saying is, and what I mean by that is a proper perspective. We have to choose what we look at. A lot of times we look at all our problems, and our problems manifest issues in our life.
Right.
So one of the things that I'm learning to do is to stop speaking what I don't like or what I don't want, and change that to what I do want. I say this a lot. A lot of women say they want to be an independent women, but I believe every time you speak that, you're speaking against your husband.
I don't want to do that.
Because independent means you don't need nobody. And so why are you looking for a husband if you don't need nobody? So y'all quit putting them nails in your coffin.
That's right. You speak what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
The power of words.
That's exactly right. So I think peace requires persistence.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
We just talked about peace will always be under attack.
Yes.
Always. So we must be persistent in maintaining it and putting our focus on peace. So and like I said, peace is not absence of war. A lot of people think that, but it's not. It is. We're going to have to fight. Just like you said earlier, you're going to have to fight for peace. You have to put up proper boundaries to maintain peace. And so peace is something we have to desire and we have to set up. And what I do once I find out something is causing me to lose my peace, I find a way around it or put it in a box so I can only deal with it in a certain amount of time or a certain way. Number 4 requires for us to live life through the eyes of others. And what that means is I'm able to see people's issues. Because a lot of times if you can see their issues, the stuff they do don't bother you as much.
Yes.
People who deal with rejection, you can tell by the way they act and the words they say, like, well, they dealing with rejection. It don't mean you got to pull up with their foolishness.
No.
So we don't promote foolishness, but it does mean you have a proper perspective on what they're going through in life. Kind of like somebody like now, the homeless person outside in the cold. I mean, you got to understand where they're coming from.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, it's, and I think a lot of us who didn't have power today, I think we found out that it could be a cold world out there. Literally. And so, we want to make sure we do that and look at life through the eyes of others. And I think number 5 is require us to have a firm foundation of faith. My peace is rooted in Jesus. That's it. So it don't mean I ain't gonna suffer. It don't mean I ain't gonna experience long suffering. I'm still experience life. Cause life still gonna happen. We're gonna experience loss. But at the end of the day, I know He's there. I know He's my foundation. And so we have to always remember that. And that's one of the biggest things that I learned about keeping peace.
Remember we talked about a few months ago about seasons? And we were saying we thought we were I said I thought I was in my winter season.
Yeah.
You guys agree that you're still in the same season, or has your peace changed and your season changed as well?
I think I'm still in the season of spring. No, I think actually it's fall, because I'm starting to transition into some stuff, and I can feel it. I can feel the timing something's getting ready to happen very soon. I can feel it. So I think I'm in fall. I think it's a harvest season for me. But I think God is sitting me down to prepare me for the harvest, so you put my butt back to work. You know, and so I think my season, it hasn't changed. I'm just deeper into it. I think I'm closer to the harvest now. So mine hasn't.
What you think, Chris?
I still think I'm in fall season. Again, we said just because you're a Christian doesn't mean you don't get attacked or go through suffering or pain. I still think it's harvest time because I've seen those seeds coming up.
Right.
So I definitely think it's still.
Good stuff.
What about you? What season?
I think I'm still in winter, but I think I'm coming out.
Okay.
I think I'm coming out of that.
That's
I
good.
think
Looking forward to fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you know, the thing about our seasons is when we know what season we in, we understand what we go through. And I think most people don't recognize seasons, and so they struggle. Fall is not completely harvest. There's a transition part in it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And sometimes during the transition of it, you know, winter can come after fall. You know, so you have to be recognizing the season you in. It's very important, because then you know how to prepare your prayers. You know how to prepare your mind on what you're going through, because if you enter into a harvest season, you have to prepare. You know, mentally prepare for what you're getting ready to receive. I can't just sit and wait. And I think that's why God making me sit still, is because, you know, once I get it, He gonna be putting my butt to work. And so I have to remember that too.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely heading for the transition part, not quite the harvest.
Right.
Let me be specific.
And that's another thing with harvest. If we in that season, you got to learn how to manage it.
You
right.
do.
That's so true.
Absolutely.
That
gonna
is
be
so
different.
true. If you
And
don't
a lot
know how
of
to
times
manage it.
we don't prepare for the managing, and really, I don't even want to say it. Thank you, God. But anyway,
Come on.
but really, what it is, I don't like the preparation right now, because it's making me sit still.
That's what it is.
And so I don't like it. But He's preparing me for my next. And the longer I fight it, the longer it's gonna stay pushed away. So I got to stop fighting and just go into it.
That's good.
That's like being like, even in the midst of being in the winter season, like you had that. I had to accept that. Like, this is where you are. This is why. This is what He doing. Stop griping and complaining and moaning. Look, this is just a temporary thing. I'm coming out of this.
Yeah, and it is. And it's good. Actually, my winter seasons have been some of my best seasons. I didn't listen to me. Y'all listen to. I did not like none of my winter seasons at all.
They're rough.
I hated them jokers. But I wouldn't be the person I am without my winter seasons.
Yes.
And so I've learned to embrace them. And because what it is when you go through winter, He's letting you know He trusts you. And so He's gonna work some stuff out of you, so He's ready for the next, you know, the next season. And so we have to learn. And I think you've been doing well. I know you started off a little rough with your winter season, but I think you've been,
Yeah, you're doing great.
You've been doing well.
Good.
And you know, no matter how many times we can tell you that you're gonna come out, it don't never feel like it. I promise you. It's just a weird thing.
Until you believe it yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to see it for yourself. Believe it for yourself.
Yes.
So I do have 5 more things that I will do to keep peace. And then
I got
right.
a question for you. You were talking about peace. Then I have to, if peace is so maintainable or that we could reach it, why do people like dysfunction so much?
Because we used to.
They get comfortable in it.
Dysfunction is something we live in so long that it's normal.
It is.
And it's just like, you know, we talked about before on the podcast, like most of us as ninjas think arguing is natural. It's not.
Ninjas about to take me out anytime, Jesus.
I mean, it's not natural. It is natural to have a difference of opinion, but it is not natural to argue.
Right.
And we think it is, and so you spend your life in that, and so you lose peace. And a lot of times we bottle stuff in so long, and then when it hit a nerve, we just go off, and the person like, "What is wrong with you? You ain't never said nothing to me about it." And so we internalize a lot, and when you internalize a lot, you can't keep peace. There's no way you can be war on the inside and have peace on the outside.
Right.
And so we do that all the time. Listen, listen to the people. I mean, you just think about, go stroll down your Facebook timeline and see how many people struggle with peace.
My mom and I had a conversation a couple of weeks ago, and we were just talking about some things that have happened over the last year and stuff. And I told her, I said, Mom, in this winter season, you know, there was a lot of detox and the healing started. You don't ever realize how deep you are in dysfunction until you come out of it.
Right.
When you step out of that or come out of that and you're on the outside, it's amazing.
It is.
That's
We
true.
get so comfortable and complacent in dysfunction. It's ridiculous. I never want to get to a point in my life again that I am comfortable in dysfunction. Ever. And I don't want the people around me comfortable in dysfunction.
Yeah. And I think it's hard until somebody got to call it out. They're like, man, that's dysfunction.
Absolutely.
You know, we shouldn't be doing that. We shouldn't be arguing like that. We shouldn't be upset with each other without being able to express. You know, we got to learn to express how we feel about stuff without taking everything personal. I think offense is the biggest problem that we have in this world, and offense will keep you from peace, because offense brings unforgiveness, and unforgiveness brings the root of bitterness. And when you get bitter, you ain't no good to nobody. I can't stand being around somebody who's bitter.
Complain all the time.
About
Nothing
everything.
ever goes
So
right.
what I'm hearing you say is there has to be accountability.
Yes,
Amen.
absolutely.
For you,
Yeah.
you have to be accountable for
Yeah.
you. You can't be holding everybody accountable.
That's
I can't
right.
hold. There's nobody responsible for my peace but me.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
until I learn that,
Yes.
I will always struggle with having it, because it's based on my surroundings. You know, and I don't want that, because my surroundings are going to change.
Yes.
So we got to learn that peace is something that you have to go after. You have
That's
to
right.
desire.
Seek it.
And someone has to be the peacemaker in the
Yeah.
family. And
Yeah.
what I mean by that is, y'all, one day I saw a little thing on Facebook that said, what did you inherit from your father? And the only thing I could think of was toxicity and dysfunction. Somebody got to, someone
Yeah.
in the family has to be the person to say, no more of this.
Oh, that's it. That's a fact. We call it generational curse.
Absolutely.
With a break from.
But sometimes they're generational choices.
Right.
There ain't no doubt.
That's good.
It
And
is.
somebody has to make the choice
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not
to
putting
do
up with-
something
That's
different.
right.
I'm not putting up with that foolishness. But it's hard
It
because
is.
it's hard because if you doing it in your family, you got a whole family like that, and so you battling
People
your
gonna fight
whole,
you tooth and nail.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, when you don't argue and people usually you argue, and they be like, "What's wrong with you? Why you ain't got nothing to say?" Because I won't have nothing to say.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, you all right?
Go cold turkey on
You
them.
started hanging around them girls. You act totally different.
That's
Blame it on whoever
that's
you
gonna-
want to.
That's healthy and functional over there. That's
Yeah.
why I'm acting different.
That's exactly right. I'm around some people who know how to handle themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Without the arguing and the fussing and the
Oh, we don't have no problem letting each other know how we feel
Yeah.
without arguing.
yeah, they do. I mean it's just and we put effort forth doing that.
We
you
do.
know? And I think in our families and stuff, we just it's so comfortable. It's like, because it's kind of funny. Like sometimes you can get certain people in your family and they come around, and as soon as they come around, the whole atmosphere shifts.
Yes.
Oh, God, yes.
Jesus.
And
Yes,
you know it.
yes.
And you're like, oh my God. We were
Ouch.
all right.
Stop.
We were all right until. But that's a person you got to work on the most.
We gonna pray. We gonna pray about it.
Oh, God.
Let's keep praying about it. Okay,
yes.
calm down. Oh, jeez.
But you know,
Yes.
it's part of life. I mean, we learn, and I just think we have to. And I can't. And the thing is, I've learned that I can't be mad with them because it's what they've been operating in their whole life.
And you can hold people accountable, but you
Yeah.
can't make them do anything.
That's
So
right.
they gotta be willing and ready to make those changes.
That's true.
But what you can do in the meantime is separate yourself from that stuff.
Yeah.
You can be cordial
Yeah.
all day and night, but you do not have to indulge in the
No.
dysfunction.
No, and you best not. I mean, you know, you better off. I've learned about dysfunction is when I spot it, try to limit myself around it. Because it's easy, man. Oh my God, it is so easy to get back in dysfunction.
to be dragged in.
Yeah. You know, you be around them a couple 5-10 minutes, and then all of a sudden you right in the midst of all this foolishness, and you saying like, "How did I get here?" When I'm around other people, I don't even be like this. You know?
That's why I tell y'all before about like substance abuse. And when you in early stages of healing
Yeah.
and recovery, I said, Don't go around those people.
Yeah.
You can't, because they'll suck you right back in.
That's right.
And so
You gotta take your time away.
You do.
That separation is important.
It is. And take it as long as you need it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it limit. When you're around people who make you feel a certain way, limit the exposure to them. You have reached the end of another episode of the Soul Rehab Podcast. And as usual, our conversation went a little longer than planned. So we made it 2 parts. So join us next week for part 2 of Peace Out and Be Well.